Hello, I'm Simon, and I am joined by the three DJs who are playing at the November Decadance at the end of this month. We're here to celebrate all things Decadance ahead of the final two Decadances of 2025 at the VFW, and to focus on what's going to happen at this one. So I took the liberty on the venue calendar of calling this Classic Decadance. In what sense is this Classic Decadance?
That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean...
This is Aiko.
For me, I'm Aiko. I used to be a resident at Decadance for 3 years with Miles. And then since then, this year, we've passed on the keys to other people, including the amazing DJ Sci-Fi over there.
Yep. And D has been consistent between the two.
Yes, and D Untethered, absolutely. Another brilliant human in our fold. However, playing with Miles, we threw this party together for 3 years. And it feels like a homecoming show for me. I haven't played it at all this year. It's also been a while since I played house music in particular. So it's almost nostalgic, kind of. Yeah, that's kind of where my head's at. What is I don't know. What does it make you think of?
Yeah, it's the same. Just
This is Miles.
I'm Miles.
FNK.
I go by FNK. Other terrible names as well.
Birthday boy.
Yeah.
Because we'll be celebrating Miles'
Yeah,
birthday,
it's my birthday.
on this very day.
And you'll give me the
29th
world.
November.
Yeah, so it's classic because Siren was a lot of, you were an initial collaborator and featured selector several times throughout the years that we were throwing it. And so, yeah, it's like a return to home. I haven't DJ'd in like over a year. I did like a month ago, and that was a surprise. But it's been a long time, so I'm excited
Where was
play
that?
live again.
What happened a month ago?
And that was Jamaica's fundraiser. The
Oh
New
yeah,
World
absolutely. Yes, of course. I was there.
Warehouse.
It was great.
Yeah, it was my first, and then next summer is going to be 20 years of DJing. But this one was last month, first time I ever used CDJs while playing. And I know, finally, in 20 years, I actually learned on CDJ like 200s that I still have. So I might bring those.
Okay.
So if you guys are ready to burn some CDs.
That would
Yeah.
be fun. Yeah.
So do you have anything to add, Simon?
I think it's mostly classic in the, I think the feeling of it. Aside from just like having, Miles and Nago here as folks who ran the party, and in terms of that kind of presence, it being classic, I think also just like the combination of the three of us in particular. Because Miles and I have known each other for about a decade now, which is really crazy. So we have like lots of like particular musical chemistry together. And I got to meet Aiko as I was coming into playing house music, and have learned a lot from watching you play, and has influenced a lot of the way that I interpret and play house music now, which creates its own sort of musical chemistry in there as well. Whenever we've had the ability to share stages or even, playing festivals and stuff, just like sharing musical space with one another.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet of you to say.
And so it feels classic in that way just because we all get to do this interesting dance of, who's starting out and how are they setting the energy, and then how are the two people that follow picking up on certain kinds of energies that we're offering to one another.
Yes.
And it feels cool and classic in that way.
Absolutely. When I was preparing to talk with the three of you today, I discovered an interview that you did, Siren, Sci-Fi, with Julian Green.
Yeah, for the Carbon Sound.
Yeah, for
mix
Carbon
series.
Sound. I liked what you said about your particular style of DJing there, in contrast with DJs that you maybe share bills with within the house and techno scene, emphasizing your kind of turntable technique with hard cuts, and it's playful.
I think I was in that conversation with Julian just kind of alluding to more of the way that like my musical background influences the way that I play house.
Yeah.
The way that I typically will explain it to like friends of mine or coworkers or whatever now is that I play house music like a hip hop DJ.
Yeah. You do.
I
I love
listen
that.
to the music very percussively. Like everything is about rhythm, whether or not it is actually like necessarily a rhythmic part of the music. So it's just like, oh, this bass has a certain kind of rhythm to it, or these hi-hat patterns, or this kick pattern, or whatever, and thinking about like how the rhythms play into each other, but also more of like a traditional hip-hop style, using more like effects-based stuff, or like hard cuts from one song to another, as opposed to the more, what I interpret as like melodic or like frequency focused mixing styles that I hear a lot in a lot of contemporaries that I have that play house and techno music.
Yeah.
It's much more a gradual blending of sounds, as opposed to the more hard cut style stuff that I do from a background in hip hop.
Absolutely. That is such a distinguishing feature of your DJ style. And so when I read that interview transcript, I was like, yeah, that's it. And the playfulness that comes with that. There was also some UK Garage in that set, and you emphasized it's kind of like house, but with more swing to it.
Yeah.
And that also is something, it's just a lot of your character kind of comes through in those choices. What are you planning for your set at this Decadance?
Whenever I get to play Deca, I always really want to try to lean into some more like heady stuff that I listen to, I guess is the best way to phrase it. Just because I play, like saloon, I play gay bars and stuff a lot. And the stuff that I play there isn't always necessarily reflective of like what my active interest is at the time.
Yeah.
So I very well could go to a bar like Saloon and play like a more heady house set and lots of like Italo disco kind of stuff and big keys and diva vocals, and not that it wouldn't get over, but it's maybe not necessarily what that crowd is looking for. Whereas like I love getting to play that kind of stuff for Deca because it's stuff I really enjoy listening to, but maybe not something I always feel like I have the space to play.
Yeah, and playing that with the people's sound is a significant factor too. Before we move on from that past interview, there were two other moments in it, two related moments that really struck me. You were talking about two of your favorite moments from DJing. One of them was at Paisley Park, and the other one was at May Day, like a year and a half ago. Is that
something like
correct?
that? Yeah.
And the thing that struck me as the through line in both of those examples was you were describing in both cases an instance of DJing and being in the moment, and then a shift in perspective. With the May Day one, that you said that you could just see the 4 or 5 people in front of you, and you were kind of DJing for them. And then your friend took video of the whole crowd, and then just witnessing yourself after the fact. And the specialness
was so scary.
You were saying you wouldn't have been able to do it in the same way had you been fully aware of the magnitude.
Yeah, especially because like the setup that we do for Mayday, I'm sure you've seen, is just we have the canopy. You got the speakers in front of the table, underneath the canopy, and the truck behind you, and that's pretty much all the perspective of the crowd that you get. Is the 4 or 5 people in front of you crammed between the speakers.
Yes.
It's like you can see some people behind them, but you don't really have a scope of exactly how big that crowd looks until you get out of it. And so being able to witness that through that video was really nuts, because I think if I were aware of that at the time, it would have freaked me out.
Yeah. Can you remember what you said about Paisley Park and the analogy that I'm making? There's a similar shift in perspective.
Paisley Park, I think that shift in perspective for me happened even before I started playing. It was getting there.
Yeah.
That was the big deal. I was playing for an employee party for my job, and we did the whole tour and the whole shebang, and showing up there, coming in through the loading dock, I have to like go in through a little like vestibule area where like I got to check in with a door guy who needs my ID, is asking what I'm going to be doing there today. They give me a crack and peel, a little vinyl like all access thing to wear on my leg. It was a change in perspective in the sense that I don't think up to that point I had ever really been treated as like
VIP.
Like a VIP, like an artist in that way.
Yeah, escorted
just because
around,
like the act of
stuff carried
DJing
through.
nightclubs and stuff feels so much more casual than that.
Yes.
You just kind of show up and everybody's a little tired and you're just kind of like, what's going on?
Yep. And you were saying at the time in the past interview that all of that seemed a bit odd at the time, or it's alien.
Yeah.
And then once you were DJing, there's this similar like, oh, I see, I'm in the moment and it's special. So in both cases, it's like, there's a shift in perspective where you recognize, oh, this is special.
Especially in that lounge.
Yeah, this is special and this is right.
Like that hitting me all at once, like being on the stage and looking out at all my coworkers and they're having a great time and it feels good in the way that DJing should feel good. And then also remembering like Prince has played this stage.
Yeah.
Many times.
This is probably a coincidence, but in that mix, there's the song "Walk Around Like You're Bigger Than Prince."
Yeah.
It seemed like
I love that song.
The set and the interview are kind of like in conversation about. So I bring all of that up because I think that there is a specialness that we will experience at this particular event, and I wonder whether kind of before the fact, we've already begun to do this a little bit, but whether we can talk a little bit about what is going to be special about this event. I'll begin with my sense of what I think is special about this. For me, if I remember correctly, I think I met at least Aiko and Miles at Decadance through just working the door initially. And Decadance introduced me, it was my first window into a scene that I thoroughly enjoy, the ecosystem of now. And for example, my first encounter with the phrase consent is mandatory, which is on the posters and flyers, was through Decadance. And yep, there you go. It's almost like Decadance